Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be looking at the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Leader Class Beast Wars Megatron. Whew, that's a mouthful. Starting off with the packaging here, I absolutely adore the amount of artwork that they've been able to put on this box. You do get a small window where you can see Megatron inside there, albeit not very much of him. But I'm totally fine with that because you have this awesome Dino Beast mode right here. And then Megatron in robot mode right there as well. Even just on the front of the packaging, if we flip it around to the back, you get the actual figure shots as opposed to the kind of, nice artwork of it right there. So I do like how you can very clearly see the figure that's inside, even though the actual window to it is not all that big. And what I really do like is you have the Predacon symbol up top right there. Another thing that we can see on the box as well on the side here is many characters that we are going to get in the future, as well as ones that we already have from that Wave 1. So we can see some of the characters that we're getting in Wave 2 and beyond, which is really, really cool. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this guy opened up and take a closer look. Now, as you're opening this guy out of the package, you will notice a circle there with this symbol showing through. So you can actually open this flap up, which will reveal a trading card, a collectible card. So this one is of Black Arachnia, a Predacon, as it shows right there, with this symbol. I'm not sure if you can use this online or something and get some kind of tech specs, or use it to battle against someone, or maybe you could scan it and put it into Transformers card app or something. I have no idea, but this is really, really cool. As someone that loves collecting cards as well, this is a really, really cool thing. I also have absolutely no idea if everyone that gets Megatron will get Black Arachnia, or if you will get a different card in every single one. So potentially, if every single one of these that you open has a card, potentially you could get the same one in every single one, or if the same card is in the same character of every single one, so therefore you would actually get a different one, so you can complete the set by getting all of the characters. I hope that that is the case, and that you're not just going to get duplicates even though you're buying different Transformers. But either way, I wasn't expecting this. I didn't actually know that these were in there, so that's awesome. Can't wait to see who else I get in other openings. But quickly, before I do release him out of his plastic harnesses, yeah, the box does look really, really cool inside there, and definitely massive Beast Wars vibes. And here we have Megatron out of the packaging, and this guy definitely does look absolutely incredible. It is 100% not perfect whatsoever, but it is a really, really great rendition of the Beast Wars Megatron. As you can see here, we do have the really menacing, awesome T-Rex head with the blaster inside there, which is really, really cool. This guy, at first glance, does look absolutely incredible. And I have to say, it is really, really accurate pretty much all over, other than just the backpack. When you get around here, obviously, this is pretty ugly. Beast Wars Megatron does have a couple of things that stick up on his back, so, having those there, and looking at it from the front, it looks fine. But coming around to the back, it does have these other pieces, which you can move around. So if you want them facing upwards, you can kind of move them around. They're on this kind of slide thing here, but they also rotate independently as well. If you want to kind of make it so that the front silhouette is better, as you can see, you can flip them up so that you can't see them from the front. That could be a much better option. If you want to display it, in terms of the instructions, it says to keep them down like this. I mean, just do whatever you want to do with that. There are a few hinges and things back here, so you can do something with your own figure to try and make the back look a little bit better to your liking, if you wish. But in general, a T-Rex that turns into something that looks like this, it's going to have, a bit of back kibble. And we, as Transformers fans, we're used to a bit of kibble by now. So honestly, I don't see that as a massive detraction from this toy, to be honest. I think the kibble is fine, really. Obviously, it would be perfect if it didn't have it. But there is the Masterpiece version out there. If you do want a much better, cleaner look, there is that. But obviously, you've got to spend a bit more money for that. in general, this guy does look fantastic. I love the shading that they've used on him. You've got the different, like the silver and the kind of gunmetal grey that they've used. If we come in close and look at this head sculpt, it is fantastic. Do kind of wish that we saw a head that was more kind of, you know, gritting teeth sort of thing. We do normally see that look as opposed to just a random, you know, normal, stern, closed mouth look. I would prefer him with a mouth open look. Unlike the original toys, you don't have anything else that comes over the head or anything like that. But overall, it is a really, really nice figure. It stands about 7.5 inches tall to the top of the head. With the kibble and stuff included, it's a little closer to 8. But overall, yeah, really, really menacing size. As you can see, with that size and general heft of a leader class, and added weight, because a lot of this stuff is actually rubber. It's actually a soft kind of rubberized plastic that is kind of glued over the harder plastic pieces. So a lot of his actual T-Rex outer body parts that slot together are actually made of a softer plastic so that it helps them, I guess, come together and gives it more of a kind of real-life feel in a weird way. But that does way more than the other harder plastic, so he's got a decent heft to him, but he does stand up really well. As you can see, the legs do curve back a little bit here, and you do have these little tiny nubbins back here as ankles. He can stand perfectly fine, even with the back kibble and everything, no problems whatsoever, and you can rotate those feet as well to give him a better stance. If you keep him forward, he might fall a bit easier. Wow, actually, tell you what, he's even leaning back there just from when I picked up, and he's still not falling over backwards. So that just shows you just how well he can stand. So no problem with this guy falling over. May as well just take a quick look at the articulation in this mode. So the head is on a ball joint, can look left and right, up and down a little bit, and not really anything else. The shoulders do rotate all the way around. Come out to the side there. We've got the upper arm swivel and then that single joint there, which moves at 90. The fist in here does have a bit of articulation. And then over here, this kind of tail claw pincer thing does have some articulation there. And this, because of the T-Rex mode, can move up and down as well. He does have a waist rotation. Over at the other arm, everything's the same at the upper portion, but then here you've got this hinge, which would obviously be the neck of the dino, and then we have a little hinge just here at the top portion of the neck, and the bottom jaw does open up to allow him to blast out of the mouth there. So very nice. Also, love the sound that makes. Very cool. Over here at the waist, these do move out the side, but these kind of gun hip piece things do get in the way of it going any further than that, but they move really well forward and backwards. You've got the single jointed knees. You've also got the rotation at the knee there, and then the ankles also have a bit of movement in them. Do they pivot? Yeah, they do pivot a little bit as well, so you can give them a bit of ankle pivot at a wider stance. So that's pretty cool. As always with my Transformers reviews, I don't tend to actually show the whole transformation in the video, because I mean, that's part of the enjoyment of a figure, transforming it for yourself. If it was a masterpiece or a third party, then yeah, I'd show you the transformation. But in terms of something simple like this, the instructions are on one side of a page. It's nice and simple. But I do want to mention some of these pieces. So in terms of this arms transformation, you would clip this in. This gets rotated here, so it's in that orientation. And then these pieces on the side here fold down and, you know, complete the look. Now, with this piece folding down, you can see this is kind of like the rubbery piece here sticking out over the hinge, which is glued onto that. This piece is going to come down, and as you can see, it's got to kind of come over that. It's in the way. You can see this piece, it just clearly is not the right size for this. It's just completely off here. You obviously have the gap under here because that's just the way it is. You got a gap right here, big gap here, but that's for articulation, that's no problem. But with these being kind of rubberized pieces, especially this centerpiece here, it just looks so off, and I thought I would show you that. Here's the clips, and they clip in just there and just there. So getting those in, which is a bit of a hassle sometimes, you can just see how off this piece is. It's sticking out at the top here and here. There's no way to keep that in. And it's just completely the wrong size and shape, and then you're getting these big gaps here. On the one hand, having kind of rubberized pieces on here is really nice, but then again, I mean, I do wish it was just hard plastic and that wasn't a thing, because that looks disgusting, to be quite honest. And if you push this piece too far, then when you're pushing it back, you can stress this piece here as well, because if that gets stuck under this piece, if it sticks out too much, when you're bringing this piece back up, when you're folding it back up, you'll be pulling on this rubberized piece just like that, and then stressing the joint that it's attached to inside there. So it's a bit annoying. It's not too much of a problem, and I'll show you what it looks like, obviously, in a second once it's fully transformed. But yeah, it is just a bit of an annoying feature, really. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this guy all transformed up, and hope that there's not too many other gaps like that on the rest of the figure. And here we have Barney in Beast Mode. Oh, no, sorry, this isn't Barney. Wrong purple dinosaur. This is Megatron in Beast Mode, and boy am I glad that my battery ran out before I could even transform this guy anyway, so that I didn't have to record it. Couldn't even if I tried. This is such a pain. Now, it's really easy to transform in terms of the steps that you have to do, especially going from robot mode into the dino mode. It's just as simple as straightening out the arms, rotating the torso, and unfolding all the flaps, and voila, you know, the legs pretty much stay as they are. You're just folding everything else around him and encasing the body in a purple dinosaur. But that casing is just, well, terrible. Remember a few seconds ago when I said I really hope that there's not many more gaps in this guy? Wow. That's all this thing is. I can excuse a bit of kibble in robot mode, and just how good that thing looks, obviously, is, you know it's not going to be an absolutely perfect dinosaur. Something really smooth and everything like this is going to take a lot of work. And don't get me wrong, this does look fantastic, but compared to what it could be, it's definitely a mess. I mean, look at all of these gaps. That's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Especially the back here as well. This top section here, there's just nothing I can do about that. This section here, this is all rubberized. So this likes to come undone, as you can see. It pegs in here and here. And at the bottom here, they're meant to peg into this shoulder piece, but they never really want to stay in. You've got all of this gap underneath here where the claw section meets that shoulder. That just never gets covered up. From the side here, it's covered, but from any other angle, it's not. Not really too much of a problem with the tail here, because that's got some awesome articulation in it, obviously based on the shoulder and arm movement. It's really, really nicely articulated, and I have no problem with that. Obviously, I don't like these gaps here, but these are actually some of the better gaps across the figure. I like how this comes around these knee pieces right here, and if you want to do the whole jet booster thing, you totally can, which I really do like. Tiny little T-Rex arms, really, really awesome, and they're on ball joints, so you can get them moving all the way around and everything that you want to do with those. But these sections here, these are just basically on little spring hinges, so they will, as you move the neck, flow with it. Well, meant to. It's meant to go back. Yeah, okay, a bit stiff, doesn't quite go back. This top piece up here, like, it all looks good like this. As soon as you start moving things are opening up, and yeah, they should have put this on a spring hinge as well so that it goes back down, but you have to keep on doing that yourself. The head here, you can only move this piece. If you move this, you just completely decapitate him, and it looks terrible. You do have the movement at the jaw there, and obviously, in general, you have really good articulation, but it just creates a huge unfolding mess. All of these gaps across the back here are just completely ugly. But they've done such a good job in terms of the molded in detail. I love the paint. The eyes look great. The teeth look great. Again, I mean, look at that tongue in there as well, and the blaster and the little arms. Again, in this mode, you can utilize all that leg articulation that he had before, and the rotation and the ankle pivots and everything. So you can get some really, really nice running poses. You can get him, coming down like this, like he's about to eat Bumblebee's face off or something, roaring at a person. You can have him facing upwards and stuff. So you can get him into some really awesome poses. And in general, he does look absolutely fantastic. He's near enough 11 inches from nose to tail, just from a quick measurement that I did. But in general, with all these flaps and gaps and this, that, and the other, he does look incredible, but you've got to get him in those sweet spots. You've got to get those great angles. You know, if you just look at the general aesthetic, the general silhouette, it really does look fantastic. So, as you can tell, I'm constantly countering myself because I'm just constantly so torn with this guy. On the one hand, I love it. On the other hand, it's not that I hate it. I just hate certain parts of it. It's not enough to make me think I don't like it at all. It's really, really amazing. I just wish that they did a couple of things differently. And for that reason, I kind of think the original figure probably did a better job. And actually, if we have a look on good old Google right here at the original Megatron, that is way less gappy. Definitely, he does have a lot of kibble still in the robot mode right there. Get some focus. But the T-Rex mode, we've gone backwards here. The detail in general of this figure is absolutely phenomenal. Detail on each individual panel is pristine and perfect. How those panels fit together, not so great. So overall, do I recommend this guy? 100% I do. I love this thing, and it looks amazing. The size, the stature, the feel. It's a really, really great Megatron. Execution in this mode, it does suck, but it is one of those things where they've tried to give you, neck articulation, which the original figure seemingly doesn't have. I haven't looked into it too much, so don't quote me on anything, but just quickly from those pictures, this has more articulation in the neck and the tail and everything, so you do have added features here, and a lot more actual molded in detail in the sculpt itself. So yeah, I'm going to stop contradicting myself and just stop waffling on and just end this there and basically say I do recommend that you get it. If you really don't like seeing all those gaps and stuff, then if that puts you off, then by all means don't get it, or wait until it's on sale or something. But I definitely would say it is so worth it for that robot mode. And even in this form, if it's on a shelf surrounded by other Predacons that can kind of cover up some of these gaps and stuff, and as long as you can in person appreciate the articulation of like this tail whipping feature over here and stuff like that, and the awesome articulation that you can get out of the feet and stuff, and this awesome head sculpt, I can't get over just how great this looks. Honestly, it kind of balances out. So yeah, I'm going to end it there and just say, if you love it, then yeah, you're going to really seriously love it in person. And if you're kind of hating it already from the video, then, well, yeah, you might hate it more in person. So it's just one of those things. But you do need this guy. If you're getting the other Beast Wars stuff, you really do need this guy in your collection. So I do recommend it. But let me know what you guys think. Which mode do you prefer? Do you think I'm being a bit too harsh on it and that actually they've done a fantastic job, or do you also agree that in some places it just looks like complete trash and you just wish it didn't exist? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'm really interested in seeing that, seeing people's reaction. I mean, I'm now seeing just a huge gap here. Oh man, this is definitely one of those, it's not love it or hate it, it's a love and hate relationship with this here Barney. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more from me, check out the videos on the screen right now, and links to my social media for more pictures in the description below. For more Transformers Kingdom reviews, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Whoop, and we'll see you next time.